Hey guys, this is Kara Arlene Bolton here, and this is Halcyon. This is a work that I have been trying to finish for years. I originally started this book back in 2012. I was working at a discount department store, and I got the idea when I was reading the Hunger Games trilogy, because in the fall of 2012 was when the first one came out. And I'm one of those people that I have to read the book before I see the movie, because books are always better. Always. And so I ended up getting this original idea on a break. And I remember writing it down on a napkin, shoving it in my locker, and then going back to work. And then just the rest, 2 or 3 hours I had left, that's all I thought about was this story. And over time, certain things have changed. But this is Halcyon. This is book 1 of the Chronicles of the Great Galactic War series. This got a publishing date of September of 2021. It took a long time to get this far. I am born and raised in Northern California, lived in the same town growing up my whole life. My parents actually still live in the house that they bought in 1987 when it was brand new. And, there was something about reading and writing when I was little that I always gravitated toward reading. I was always reading something. Growing up, I would tell myself I was like Matilda, but with loving parents. I was reading before I was 4. I was writing stories before 3rd grade even. And I remember my 3rd grade teacher, who I actually still in contact with, I remember she told me, she read one of my stories one time and she said, keep going. Don't ever tell anyone that you can't do anything, to keep going and to never give up, and just strive for any dream that you want. And if you work hard and you're diligent, you can do anything that you want. And so that's why actually in my acknowledgement section is actually pretty big, because I was thanking a lot of people. So I'm going to read this out just because. So my acknowledgements. First and foremost, I would like to thank God Almighty, because without Him nothing is possible, and I thank Him for the gift of storytelling. Next, I want to thank my parents, Clayton and Donna, and my twin sister. I have an identical twin sister, guys. There's 2 of me in the world. What? You guys were my first fans. I love you so much. Thank you for believing in me. I would like to thank some of my childhood teachers who taught me to never give up. Miss Jean Holmquist, who is now Mrs. Cochran. Miss Annie Larson, fun fact, used to be my neighbor, actually. Miss Misty Lacey, now Mrs. Alarcon. Mrs. Hawthorne, and Mrs. Bain. All of you kept encouraging me to continue writing and to always chase my dreams. I want to thank the following friends and coworkers for being my first readers and for giving me valuable feedback. One of my best friends, Shauna Vakian. One of my former coworkers, Mary Chris Basco. One of my former coworkers and one of my really good friends, Maya Bloy. An online friend, Maria Camp. I did actually make a typo here and I didn't realize it. One of my former coworkers, Robert Crossland. I somehow forgot the last part of his name. Sorry about that. Alicia Harris, Rachel Jasper, one of my other online friends who's actually an author, Stacy McWilliams. One of my best friends, Maya Peter. One of my classmates, David Rivas. One of my best friends' aunts, Holly Overby. One of my friends used to be neighbor when we were kids, Emma Poole. My best friend, Jordan Springs. One of my former coworkers, Darcy Wall. And one of my classmates, Corey Wright. I want to thank the following people for inspiring my work. George Lucas, creator of Star Wars. Gene Roddenberry, creator of Star Trek. J.R.R. Tolkien, author of Lord of the Rings. Douglas Adams, author of The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Michael Crichton, author of Pirate Latitudes and Jurassic Park. If you've never read Pirate Latitudes, fun fact about his story, it was a complete story, completely written. Nobody knew about it till after Michael Crichton passed away. And they released the book posthumously. Sorry, that's a word I can't say. And it's an amazing story. Think of Pirates of the Caribbean, but rated R. It's absolutely fantastic. Also, Laura Ann Gilman. She was the author of the Vine Art War series. That's another one, if you've never read it. The Vine Art War series, that one's really good. Without their works, and without the love of my friends and family and teachers and everyone telling me to keep going, this would not have happened. I would have given up a long time ago. And I still can't believe, it's August 3rd. So in 1 month, this book will have been out in the world for 2 years. And I still can't believe that. And because of life and things, I still haven't quite finished book 2 yet, but I'm definitely getting that well underway now. But also thank you to the readers. To all of you guys who I don't know who've already read it or have, seen it with my Twitter spoofing and all that fun stuff. Definitely take a look. It's really good. So the back of the book, it took me forever to come up with a synopsis for this book. As much as I love writing, I've always had a hard time coming up with a good synopsis. But here it is. In the Bell-9 system, life is peaceful, idyllic. Life is the same as it was for the past age. Princess Eulanie, the oldest child of King and Queen, marries the military commander, Rarick Mazel. Shortly after, a prisoner from the only hard labor camp in the system escapes with disastrous results. It's a race against time to stop him. With the help of the Hitain military, they wage an assault on Thosin Oracrand and his followers. Running out of options, Commander General Rarick Mazel and Princess Eulanie Varumlin travel to Earth to get help. In 2030, the world is voting to create a single government. At Pearl Harbor, Alessandra Bailey and Marcus Hunter, lieutenants of the United States Coast Guard, are recruited to help Eulanie and Rarick. With the help of a Marine private, an Army private, a technical sergeant, and a chief petty officer, can they stop him in time? I love this story, you guys. You have no idea. I have been struggling to come up with YouTube videos. I am not very handy when it comes to this sort of thing. I don't have fancy equipment. I'm recording this off of my phone. So even though I'm a millennial, I am pretty far behind on a lot of the technological stuff. So sure, I have a smartphone, but I don't have a smartwatch. I don't use my phone to pay. I don't use Google Wallet or any of those. If Control-Alt-Delete doesn't fix my laptop, I call my dad and be like, Dad, what do I do? Because technology stuff is just, a lot of it just goes over my head. I have no idea. So these videos that I make are going to be very low-key. There's not going to be much, not going to be much of anything done to them. I just feel like I need to get out in the world a little bit more as far as my book. And, if YouTube can help me with that, that would be great. Because it is my long-term goal to just be a writer for a living. Right now, I also work at a department/clothing store / grocery store. It's kind of a little bit of everything. And no, it's not Walmart, for those asking. I did that once. I'm good. So yeah, this book, I remember when I first got my box of books, we had gone to my grandma's house and the box had came right before we were leaving, and I didn't realize what it was. And so I get to my grandma's house and my sister looks down at the box. She goes, Kara, you might want to look at these. And I was like, what? She goes, well, it's from your publisher. And I was like, wait, seriously? And I remember I opened this box. I think it had 10 or 12 books in it. And I remember books just sitting on the top. And I remember I grabbed it and I hugged it and I started crying because this has been a dream of mine forever. I feel like, you know, even before third grade, I always thought it would be neat to be a writer, to be an author, to have stories that people really liked and would talk about. And I mean, in no way, shape, or form am I gonna, you know, become the next J.K. Rowling, for example, or, you know, anything crazy. But I do feel like I have stories to tell, and I do feel like there are people that need to hear my stories. And to those that are trying to write or have the desire or the dream to write, don't let anyone stop you. You know, don't let anyone tell you that you're not going to make any money, that you're, you know, that you're not going to become successful, because if you put in the time, if you put in the effort and you don't give up, it will happen for you. It took me a long time. When I first finished my book and I started looking at publishers, I was excited because the first couple of publishers were interested, but they didn't want to give me the amount that I thought was a correct amount for my work. The royalties were extremely low. And so I said no. I said no. 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th, 16 publishers all said no. They were not interested. They didn't like it. It wasn't their thing. Whatever. Publisher number 17 comes around. And it's Page Publishing. You might see their commercials on TV. They do a lot of ads online. And I got a hold of them, started talking with them, and they wanted me to send them part of my book. I forget how many pages or chapters they wanted, because every publisher is different. Everyone has different requirements. And he really liked it. And so he kind of sent it on a little bit, and then they were like, yeah, we want to publish this book. We think this book is really good. And I remember looking at the royalties going, really? That's way more than what other people were, you know. I get about $3.50 a book. That is until I get the amount of money back that I have paid to publish my book. It cost me about $3,500. And of course they have payment plans and everything set up, so that was nice. So until I get back that $3,500, they take 0 royalties out. Everything comes back to me except for what goes to the publisher and that sort of thing for the cost, you know, and maintenance of the book and, you know, getting everything situated. But even after that, I'm still going to get $3 a book, which is really good, because everyone else was $1, $1.10, less than $1. Like it was so low. It was kind of ridiculous, you know. And I mean, I'm no fancy writer, you know. I'm not James Patterson or Stephen King or, you know, just Dean Koontz or any, you know, authors that really have written a lot of books. So, you know, but they still need to pay something. The little guys still need to eat too, you know. So that's kind of the introduction to Halcyon. A little bit more about me. I think fall is the best time of the year. Summer can suck it. I hate the summer. I have some health issues, and the heat exacerbates terribly some of my conditions. I still live in the town I grew up in. I did have a longtime boyfriend at one point, and we lived in Arizona for a couple years and did all of that. And I always managed to come back home. Come back to the Sacramento Valley. There's something special about the Sacramento Valley, though. If you don't live here, you don't know. But, you know, everyone's proud of their hometown, right? You know. My favorite color is what they call Sacramento green, which is like a true dark green. There's no emerald, so there's no blue in the green at all. Let's see. My favorite baseball team is the Oakland A's. soon to be Las Vegas A's, I guess, because Oakland doesn't want to keep their teams. Football. I'm from California, but I've always been a Packers fan. Green Bay for life. I am a cheesehead. Will be forever. I am an INFJ. If anybody knows the Myers-Briggs personality test. I am a Sagittarius. Was born in December. I should have been a Capricorn, actually, but my sister and I were early. Let's see. An interesting fact about me, if I talk to somebody that has a different accent than me, so I have what I consider the typical California / Valley girl accent. If I talk with somebody from the South or somebody from London or, anywhere else, I will pick up on their accent and I will hang on to that accent for the rest of the day. So I have a funny story about that too that I'll probably share with you guys at some point. I am quite a quirky person. I used to try to mask all the time, and I suspect I have ADHD. Hasn't been proven. My sister has it. But I am quite a bubbly, bouncy person. I'm kind of all over the place. So it's one of those things where because I'm an author, a published author and all that now, and I have to get out and I have to, do meet and greets and do book signings and things like that. I sometimes feel like I have to mask, and I'm like, no, wait a minute. No. I shouldn't have to. I mean, I don't want to be obnoxious or anything like that, but, there's nothing wrong with being yourself. Now, while I'm filming this, it's getting kind of late, so I'm going to sign off for the night, but I will say this. Don't forget to take your medication. Make sure you drink some water. Don't forget to look in the mirror tonight and tell yourself that you love yourself. Be kind to yourself. I feel like I'm a very kind person. People tell me I'm a kind person, but I'm often so critical and so harsh on myself, and that is one thing that I do need to learn. And through writing, actually, because I'm creating characters and personalities and all that kind of stuff, that I'm kind of looking back on myself and going, hey, wait a minute, I can work on myself. I can do these things. So anyway, that's kind of my introduction to Halcyon. My next video, I am going to go through some names and places of people and do pronunciation, because I know that a lot of people were pronouncing Eulene wrong, for example. They were saying Eulene, which is very pretty, but I actually hadn't considered that option. Yuelene. I don't know, I just thought that Eulene sounded really pretty. So anyway, have a good night, guys, and I will get back on here soon. Take care.